Hi guys, what's up? My name is David and welcome back to my channel. So after like 2 years, I finally decided to get new earrings. Look. And I want to talk about what they're based on and my other historically accurate jewelry, and talk a bit about what it means for modern replicas of archaeological finds to be historically accurate, and if it's really that important. So, first of all, if you don't know me, I am a third year student of Scandinavian studies, and I talk about Viking related stuff, queer stuff, my life, lots of things. But this time I want to talk about modern replicas of historical finds of jewelry. So, the new earrings I got are based off of a pendant that is included in a silver hoard from Gniezdovo, which is now modern day Russia. And I was trying to find the original artifact online, and I have honestly no idea where it is located. The last picture from an exhibition of it I found was from the National Museum of Russia in Moscow, but that was from 2021, so no idea where it is, but it is a real Viking Age artifact. And if you're wondering, like, Viking Age Russia, yes, the Viking journeys actually started by going through the east, and the name Russia probably has the same etymology as the Finnish name for Sweden, which is Ruotsi, and that is probably inspired by the Swedish region of Roslagen and has something to do with rowing, which is something that these people did. Anyways, that's not the point. Yes, there were people of Scandinavian origin traveling to and residing in what we now call Russia, and this is where one pendant like this was found. And one problem that I encountered when looking for information about this original artifact was that when I tried to find like Gniezdovo silver hoard pendant or something, the first results I get are always marketing. It's always, please buy this replica. And well, that was my intention in the first place. I wanted to buy these and I found them and I bought them. But when I am looking for an artifact from the Viking Age, I'm not looking for a modern copy of this artifact. But also, many of these search results that you get when you look up some kind of Viking jewelry have nothing to do with the actual Viking Age, but are inspired by like New Age, New Pagan, Celtic, Germanic art that is kind of like pushed together and creates like Viking jewelry. And I have this ring. I think this is a good example of this. It's like generic knotwork, and that would be then considered a Viking ring. I literally bought this in a gift shop in Amsterdam and has nothing to do with the Viking Age. But it could be presented as a Viking ring. Doesn't mean it is, but it could be. And people believe it, and that's kind of the problem, because when you look up Viking jewelry, people are not always going to question whether it's accurate or not. But then, is accuracy so important? So a while ago I read an article about authenticity and museums, and they argued that the public usually has a different opinion about the importance of historical authenticity than scholars do, which is understandable. Like, especially when shopping for jewelry, maybe whether this thing is exactly inspired by some kind of archaeological find is not the most important part. Maybe just looking pretty is the most important part. And for me, as a student that is interested in the Viking Age, if I want to have something inspired by the Viking Age, I would like it to be at least to some degree historically accurate. But is it? And for this, I want to go over to my second Viking Age piece of jewelry, which is this pendant. So this one is inspired by a find in Foss, Iceland, and the original artifact is now exhibited in the National Museum of Iceland, and this one has been bought for me by my boyfriend in the gift shop of that museum. So already this suggests a higher level of authenticity and accuracy. However, sometimes museum shops sell the most weird stuff. Like, this other museum on Iceland sells books by Stephen Flowers, who is a highly problematic scholar, so just because something comes from a museum gift shop does not make it accurate in any way. But this one is obviously directly inspired by this find. However, the original find is slightly bent, and clearly this pendant is straightened out. Does this make it historically inaccurate because it's not directly inspired by the find, but it's like adjusted to fit like basically beauty standards for jewelry? Well, I personally would say it still clearly is inspired by this exact find, and the main aura of this find is still found in this piece of jewelry. And that is also something that is mentioned in the article that I talked about before. It's not always about historical accuracy, it's about the perceived authenticity, it's about the feeling. Does this feel accurate? And another aspect that is mentioned that I find interesting is something might look exactly like the find that it is inspired by, but that still doesn't always make it historically accurate if it is mass produced. This, you can buy this by the hundreds in a gift shop or online, but there's only one of them found. So does this have an influence on the authenticity and the accuracy of the object? I would say that if something that was made by hand in like the 10th century is mass reproduced in the 21st century, that already, makes it less authentic. But we live in a day and age where jewelry can be mass produced, and is that a problem? Maybe it is. And if you disagree with the mass production of jewelry, of like fast fashion, then I would recommend going on Etsy or any other site where people who actually specialize in recreating this jewelry by hand, whether using historical methods or not, that is more ethical, and you would support small businesses, so that's great. But yeah, some main points to keep in mind after this video is that just because something comes from a museum does not make it more accurate, and just because something looks exactly like an archaeological find does not make it accurate. But also, historical accuracy is really not the most important thing in the world. And I know that there are some people who do think that, and sure, but at the end of the day, if it matters to you and you have your historical accurate jewelry, great. But if someone else sees, for example, these earrings, honestly, I do not think they would care that they're inspired by a find that was done in like 18 something in Russia. They would say, oh, cool earrings. And I would say thanks. So yeah, there's a whole debate on whether historical accuracy should be as important as it is seen as by some academics. I would say it depends on the goal. Like, of course, a museum should provide historically accurate information, but if you just want to buy some jewelry that is either exactly or loosely based on a find, then you're not harming anyone if it's not done with the exact same methods. So yeah, if you want to know more about the specific artifacts that these things are based on, for this, again, I have no idea where they are exhibited right now, but there is some information about them on the site of the National Museum of Russia. But is it the National Museum of Russia? So do with that what you will. They have also been exhibited in the British Museum, and there's just a Wikipedia page of Thickness of a Hoard. But yeah, if anyone knows where these currently are, again, this is how they look like. They've been called like a low-key mask, but that is a name that I disagree with. And yeah, and more information about this one is found on the site of the National Museum of Iceland. It is only in Icelandic, but if you look far enough, there will be a very short English description. So yeah, there's that. I would like to thank you all for watching. If you're still watching, please comment what your favorite artifact from the Viking Age is, because I am very interested in that. And make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you want more similar content, and check out my older videos if you're interested in other stuff that I do. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.